Hey guys, welcome back to another iContrast video. Today we're bringing you round 13 of the AOR Championship here in Oceania in Japan this time. And this is a iffy track for me. You see, I don't really find myself that strong at this track or that confident really, but last season I did win this race, so it did give me a little bit of hope for this season, and qualifying didn't turn out too bad, so I was pretty happy with my laps that I managed to pull out in qualifying. I did get a lot of traffic on my laps though. There was a lot of people and distractions that I had to deal with. As you can see, Headshot managed to pull out of the way just in time there so I could continue my lap. We were on the borderline between improving or not, but this is the best lap I did for this session, so I didn't think it was too bad. It was pretty tidy. I didn't make really any mistakes. I think there might have been a few tenths here and there in the corners, but I think most of the time would have came from the straight because I was running a pretty high rear wing so that I could have that stability through the race, and maybe I could have taken a little bit more speed through a spoon there in the second part of the left-hander, but didn't do a whole lot wrong, and I was overall pretty pleased with my effort. Right now we're sitting in P4. It's pretty close up the front. We're in front of Dubzzy though, surprisingly. I thought Dubzzy would have put in a better banker lap than me, but coming into the final chicane, braking nice and late for this corner. You don't want to take too much of both curves, but you do want to hit both apexes quite nicely. Stay as tight to the inside as possible before crossing the line, and it's going to put us in third place behind Pure Gold. So I was pretty surprised to see Pure Gold up this high. I haven't seen him get a pole yet this season, but always like a change of faces at the front. I don't mind that at all. I was going quicker on this lap as well. This was my third lap. And I just didn't manage to hook it up in the final sector. Apparently I set purple sector for the second sector, and then I lose the back end on my fourth attempt here, and I can't really reverse out of here. So that pretty much wraps up my qualifying session, and it looks like we'll be starting from a best of second, and yes, it is second on the grid, 3 tenths behind Pure Gold. So I was surprised that nobody managed to beat me apart from Pure Gold and slot into that 3/10 of a second gap. So maybe people are starting to run similar setups to me, or maybe Pure Gold is running a complete qualifying setup. At this stage, I fully believed that Pure Gold was running a qualifying setup and that I might be faster than him during the race. I was pretty much hoping on that. But what is also interesting to note here is that Maznat has not turned up to the race, and he is the championship leader. So if Dubzzy can win this race, it'll put him back into the championship fight. But it's been 5 lights and away we go here for the Japanese Grand Prix. We've gotten off to a decent start, probably slightly better than Pure Gold, but I don't want to try too much going into turn 1 here, and I decided to pull in behind Pure Gold just to make sure I don't get my nose cut off going into the corner. And it looks like Stylen has in fact managed to jump SirLJB too, so that's going to be vital for our championship. Remember that we are fighting SirLJB in the championship. We're not that far behind in points. I think it's a 15-point gap or something like that. So if we can outperform him in this race and get some cars in between him and myself, then that's going to be looking more positive for us in the championship, and who knows, we might be able to take on Pure Gold later on in the race. Dubzzy was actually mixing it with the midfield, surprisingly. I was shocked to see him that far down the order, and he has to fight his way through here, trying to make the move on Stuart McKenzie going in the hairpin, and looks like Stuart McKenzie gets the better traction coming out of the hairpin and holds on for now. But remember, Dubzzy needs to finish in 6th place or higher to remain in the championship fight, or else Maznat will be crowned AOR champion, even though he's not in the race. And it's forcing me to carry the Renault flag kind of in this race for the constructors. And looks like Chuki, after having that good qualifying session, starting in 7th place I believe, hasn't had a great start to the race, and unfortunately for him it looks like he's gotten front wing damage, so his race has not turned out the way he wanted it to. But now it's starting to cool down a little bit. We're just pulling in behind Pure Gold, and Stylen isn't too far behind us. SirLJB is actually looking to make a move on Stylen because he knows exactly what's at stake here. 3rd place in the championship is still up for grabs, and if I finish above him in the following races, it could be really close in the championship battle towards the end. At Brazil, only 2 more races to go after this one, so people will start panicking over points and perhaps making more risks. But we've built a little bit of a gap to Stylen now. He's still in touching distance I believe, and we've caught up to the back of Pure Gold. I didn't want to hang behind him really close for the start of the race due to damaging my tyres and the tyre wear. If you hang around in the dirty air, it will have a negative effect on your tyre life. And as you can see, there's a barrier on the racing line there, and that's going to force everyone to take a wider line through the final corner of Japan. So that's really awkward, and you know, it's going to be frustrating if somebody gets a DNF from hitting that barrier that's being planted on the track there from a crash, I believe. And Stylin's actually gone into the pits now, so he's going for the undercut. If he goes onto the softs, it might be, yes, he has actually gone onto the softs, as you can see in the top left corner. That might be a little bit difficult to make it to the end. I thought he might have gone onto the mediums if he pitted on lap 9, but with that wheel, he might be having a little bit better of a time with the tire wear compared to us pad users. But here on lap 10, we're going to make our pit stop and go into the soft tires, hopefully towards the end of the race. It shouldn't be too hard on the tires from this point, and hopefully Stylin doesn't get too much of an undercut on us. I know SirLJB pit at the exact same time as Stylin as well, and we're still being held. The pit crew is not letting us go. Finally, it lets us go. I don't know why it kept us behind there. Look at the gap Pure Gold's got on us now. Codemasters have actually, you know, ruined my race basically from that. Like, now I've got to overtake SirLJB and Stylin that I've jumped us in the pit stop phase as well. So that's just really frustrating. No fault of my own, just being held in the pits longer than I had to for absolutely no reason. I'm not happy about it at all. But now we've caught up to the back of SirLJB within like less than a second, and Pure Gold's actually gone off, and that's gonna take us out. And yeah, I actually have no words. I don't know what to say at this point. My season has been so unlucky. An unsafe rejoin takes me out, but doesn't take SirLJB out, our championship rival. Like, he almost got taken out. That's basically my my season in a nutshell. That replay there, and just look at this. This is the exact frame the light goes green on, and see how far ahead Pure Gold is before I get released. How can that be acceptable? Imagine if that happened in esports and it decided who won the esports championship over it. And Kremer got like a desync lag tap there, and that sent him off. He actually got a 10-second penalty for it too. So this game is so unpolished, and Kremer's gonna make a risky dive bomb there. But now we're gonna limp it to the pits, and yeah. So put it in perspective. If I didn't get held for that extra amount of time, I would have been out before. You know, I would have been closer to SirLJB before it happened, or in front of SirLJB and Spilly, but I wouldn't have got taken out if I was in that position. So the game indirectly has completely taken us out of the running, and just like that, our championship is basically over to get any chance of getting third place. So yeah, just the luck this season has really not been there for us, and now we're down in 13th place. I don't know what's happening with Dubzzy either. He's having some trouble in the midfield, but looks like he'll be finishing ahead of us anyways after what's happened to our race. But you know, Stylin sets the fastest lap of the race. He's now in the lead ahead of SirLJB. I was ahead of Stylin before the pit stop phase, so yeah, you just got to think what could have been for this race at least, and it's just really frustrating. But I didn't give up. I, you know, continued the race. I had absolutely nothing to lose, so I absolutely threw it around the track every lap from this point on, and I just started setting purple sectors and fastest laps of the race. But I really have no advantage on the guys ahead. Like, I only got that pit stop straight after having a pit stop, so there was no real tire advantage. So it was probably like the worst time to be taken out as well, like from getting no advantage from it either, from the new tires. Yeah, now we're in the points somehow. We're actually in P9. I think a couple of people might have had some bad luck and had to have made another pit stop. Stuart McKenzie now is on the back of us with a super soft set of tires, and he's going to be really quick. So I'm going to have to try and, you know, make a move past Grunting Tortoise, who's holding us up now on the medium tires. But he's actually hit that barrier there, and I don't know how, or if he even has that barrier on his screen, but he went straight through it, and I don't think he even got any damage from it. But now we got Stuart McKenzie all over the back of us trying to make a move, but I was just trying to push so hard that he didn't really get many opportunities to even try and throw it up the inside, because I was just pushing so hard. I'd never driven this way the entire season, just driven with absolutely nothing to lose, and I guess for the next 2 races I'll have absolutely nothing to lose as well, so that way I don't have to be conservative about, you know, saving the points, about being up front and whatnot. now I can just absolutely go ham and, you know, try and maybe get a podium or something. Just try and get something out of the rest of the season, because it just seems like we're going to be stuck in 4th place for the championship at least. As you saw just then, we actually had to go defensive for the first time against Stuart McKenzie there. And coming out of the corner, he actually lost the rear end and crashed out. So that's taken him off our case. And now that's going to give us the opportunity to climb all over the back of Tortoise, who's made a mistake here. And yeah, well, if I haven't already demonstrated what my season's been like, well, you know, that's basically it as well in a nutshell. But looks like we're going to be coming across the line in 9th place. Pretty disappointing race for me, I can't lie. Good job on Styling though, he stayed out of the trouble. SirLJB managed to scrape through that big incident, so good on him. Like, I have nothing against that, but just the real bad luck always seems to find us, and we should be on that podium a lot more often than what we are. And just looking back, if we pitted when Styling and SirLJB pitted, then this stuff probably would have never happened. But yeah, that like, you can only think what should have, could have, would have happened. Well, let's change the attitude. Let's try and do better in the last 2 races. End on a positive note. Congratulations to Stingray as well for making the podium. He came from the back pretty much. Yeah, he actually did come from the back in 20th place there. So so did Whippinator. He put in a good effort there. I think Dubzzy had a bit of a hard time in the midfield, only finishing in 5th place, but that does continue on the championship, meaning that championship will most likely be decided in USA the next race. If you want to catch that race, the link in the description will take you to the AOR channel, and I'll give the times in the description as well. So if you want to catch it, you'll be able to see it for, I think it's British time zone or Central, and hopefully you can convert that to your own time zone and catch the race on the AOR channel. That's if you want to watch it live. But that's going to wrap up this round of AOR. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more new content. Hit the like button if you feel this video deserves it, and I'll see you all in a brand new one. Thank you ever so much for watching.